What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Smoooth Conversations. I am your boy Smoooth Conversations, and I think I hear myself. Let me turn myself down real quick. There we go. My bad. So yeah, Smooth Conversations, where the conversations are always smooth. Thank you to everyone who's tuning in right now. Go ahead and get them likes, get them shares going. We want to get as many people tuned in to another incredible show that I have in store for you. This show has been going on for maybe about a good month and a half now. Very first show was with God Tori. It was like a last minute on the spot thing, and it started up something very big. And tonight it does not change because this show here, as you have seen already, and as you are about to witness, this show is all about just highlighting people who just been doing so much good, not just here in the Louvre, but just around the world. Good people, and want to give them their flowers, have their stories told, and just have great conversations. So tonight we're going to make that happen. And ask before I bring my guy in, go ahead once again and hit the like, hit the share, subscribe to the YouTube page, Smoooth Conversations. And as you see, it's three O's in smooth. So we want to get as many people tuned in. We want to get his family, his friends, his bandmates, his followers on social media, all to be tuned in and to leave comments, questions, whatever that you want to, go ahead and, show on the show, and I can go ahead and have your comment or question to be seen as well. So don't hold back. This show is for everyone, and we just want to have a great time. I'm not going to hold this man because I know he's so busy doing things around not just the Lou area, but he be traveling, working hard, doing this thing, and he's been actually doing this music thing. Started back in 2016 as a jazz trio. His band called Drew Project, and he's opened up for a lot of acts that you may know. Acts like Tony, George Clinton, Mick Edition, Music, Soul Child, El DeBarge, Drew Hill, my favorite group. You know what I'm saying? Drew Hill, Boys to Men, Vince Gill, yes, Vince Gill. I know y'all thinking about, but he just doing hip hop and R&B. No, he's doing it all. You know what I'm saying? He reminds me of myself. He has a nice range of talents and he doesn't hide it. And look forward to talking about that and some outside of music stuff. So you're gonna have a great, smooth conversation. Everyone get them likes, get them shares, get them comments going, and let's have fun as I bring in my dude here who I'm glad to meet him. Glad to have met him over the last couple of years, and he's doing very, very big things in the area. None other than Drew Bethany. Drew, what's going on with you, brother?
Smooth.
There it
What's
is.
up? What's good?
Sounds good to me. I like it. I can dig it.
Yes,
I
sir.
can dig
What's
it.
up?
Man, doing great, and thank you for taking time out. I know that you have a hectic schedule with what you do, and for taking time out to be on Smooth Conversations. Appreciate you, brother, and thank you once again. How you doing?
Oh, wonderful, man. It's been a easy, relaxed, smooth day for me. I just keep on. I was just gonna keep throwing those plugs out, smooth. But it's been a wonderful day for me, man. It's an honor and a privilege to be one of your guests on this show, and so I appreciate you just giving me the opportunity on your platform.
Most definitely, most definitely. So, for those who don't know, I also do have a sports talk show called The Platform Sports Talk Show that's been going on for 7 years consistently every Wednesday. Smooth Conversations, once again, just started this up about a good month and a half ago. And you just never know when the show will come on. There's no set time or set days or the week. It just whenever I can make it happen with the special guests, we're going to do that. And it does not stop once again tonight with my guy, Drew. So, once again, Drew, it's a pleasure. Let's have a great conversation. I met you years back. I'm a drummer at my church, and also I still am somewhat in a band called the Immortal Soul Era. So I've been the drummer for over 20 some years of my life, and I felt like it was certain things that I've seen other drummers do that I wanted to learn some things. So I reached out to my boy who you may know, Timothy. What's his last name?
McKempsey.
Yeah, Timothy McGimpsey. And I'm like, hey, bro, I'm looking for some drum lessons, man. Can you refer me to someone? And he was like, hey, get up, my guy Drew. So I got at you, and I had no idea how much of a big deal you are in the music scene here in the Lou. So, and you held me down with some lessons. Unfortunately, I couldn't stay on because then I had a car accident and things just changed. You know what I'm saying? So I got to get back to it. But I commend you for what you're doing. Cause not just me, but you do things for kids, for adults, and you hold things down. So shouts out to you. I got to give you your flowers right away. You are a very talented dude. You have fun doing it too. That's what I enjoy the most. Seeing you on the drums or up front, be a lead singer or the whole nine. You just love to entertain. You keep a smile on your face, and you let that passion show. So I commend you. But dude, I had no idea you was that deal.
Oh my God, man. Hey, dude. I appreciate that, man. Bro, thank you. I appreciate it. That's what it's all about anyway, man. Why do something if you're not having fun, man? It's been a blessing. God has gifted me to do the things that I'm doing. Like I'm straight up making a living off of my passion. Not too many people can say that they're actually
Mm.
making a living off of their passion. So, man, I'm just grateful. It's just a tremendous blessing, dude, just to be able to do what I love and have. Of course, I'm going to put a smile on my face. It's the best job in the world.
Right. And I'm glad you brought that up in regards to living out your passion because so many people, even myself, are in that position where yes, I'm a DJ and I'm a drummer and I do shows, whatever. But then you still have to work that 9 to 5. So I know that it had to be an amazing feeling when you got to a point where you was like, man, I can leave that 9 to 5 in the background and now just focus on my 9 to 5 being my passion.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. That's what it's about. I mean, for me, I stopped working. My last regular job was a substitute teacher job, and that was back in 2012. So that was just my opportunity to really to get ready for what I do now. I didn't know the way how God set it up for me. I was in preschools and I was teaching them music, and I was kind of like their mascot, doing PE, physical education some of the some of the teachers that were physically compromised. They couldn't really get around like that. They called Drew, and then to have that male presence. But back in 2012, in February of 2012, I made a hard choice that year, and I just said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and go all the way with what I'm doing musically. From playing at church, playing my music gigs in town, out of town. At that time, I was playing with Nico Smith.
Mm.
Shout out to Nico Smith. That's if some of y'all don't know Nico Smith, that's Ozzie Smith's son. He was on American Idol, top 5 contestant or something like that. And the dude is
Hmm.
amazing. He's still blazing, and he's singing with the Dirty Mugs they're really big time. So anyway, I had that opportunity. Once I got that Nico Smith opportunity, I was able to do so many things, but my bread and butter, and I say my go-to, is my teaching. That's my number one right there. Music house, that has been going on since 2009, and I start going full time at that 2012, and I start doing all this music stuff. I start doing my teaching, playing out, playing at church, doing my studio stuff or whatever, studio records and all that, and I never left. I'm still here. Even through the pandemic, God saw me through. I'm here in 2024, and we're taking it to the next level.
Yes, you are. Definitely take it to the next level. We're gonna talk about Nico Smith and the Dirty Mugs later on this episode. But just talk about how did you get started as a musician? I think I saw something that you had on your post recently how you've been doing this since you was pretty much a kid. So just tell us about that journey of Drew becoming a musician.
Yeah, the exact post you talking about was talking about. I've been playing drums since I was in diapers.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to potty train, man. I want to potty train. I'm over here playing, the typical story of a preacher's kid. You know what I mean? It's the typical story. I turned everything into drums. I remember my mom got me a kitchen set. It was either my mom or dad, whatever. And I had this one red little kitchen pot or whatever, and it had this high pitch. I would never forget it. I don't know. It had me in a chokehold. It's like that piccolo snare that drummers got when they start getting into playing drums around the 90s and early 2000s. They had that little high pitched piccolo snare or whatever. That thing
Mm.
had me in a chokehold. I wish I still had that thing because it just had a dope, distinctive sound. And but coming up, man, as a kid, I turned everything. It's either I turned everything to a drum or I turned everything into a basketball hoop. So pretty much it was basketball and drums. But drums, I just knew it was not going to leave me, and I've been playing ever since. I played at church. Man, I was playing at my dad's church starting at like 5 or 6 years old, down on Dr. Martin Luther King Drive. The name of that church was True Hope Tabernacle. I played there, and that's how I continue to get better. Just having the opportunity. I mean, it's not this church is not the same what it was back then. You can't just be a kid, 4, 5, 6 years old, just getting on the drums and just figuring your way out. But I was figuring my way out. I stunk for a long time. I wasn't really that good, but my parents believed in me and my family believed in me, and that's I can say that's what my music house is all about. Music house team is all about that. Like we're gonna encourage and we're gonna continue to lift up, the up and coming musicians because it really does take a village, man. Um, to raise a product like myself and whatnot. And so, but that's just how I got started in the game. Starting off in church. My dad is the preacher, Elder Charles E. Bethany. So that's how I got my start.
So we know that you're big in teaching others about drums and music in general. So who were some people who taught you the drums?
I would be remiss if I don't mention his name first. And if he's watching, I'm not sure if he's watching, the great, and I talked to him today, the great and the one and only St. Louis own, Mr. Rob Woody. That's right. Rob Woody, number one, that was my first aha moment. Like, oh yeah, I really want to do this. The stuff that he was doing then, he was ahead of his time, and he's still killing the game. But that guy, uh, the guys like who I listen to, my influences coming up. This one guy, he was from Cuba. I don't know if he's still alive, but his name was Ignacio Barrel, something like that. He was, an Afro-Cuban guy. Another guy from the Yellow Jackets, Will Kennedy was one of those influences. Calvin Rogers from gospel.
Mm.
Calvin Rogers was one of those guys. Even the guy who played with Walter Hawkins, and I think it's Joel Smith. He's a drummer and a bass player. It was him, Dave Weckl, who's St. Louis's own. Shout out to Dave Weckl. Yeah, Dave Weckl, man. Chris Dave, another guy who played on so many records. He played with Erykah Badu, Mint Condition. He even did a Kimber Rail album. He's still doing his thing now.
Mm.
So it's just, dude, it was just so many guys. My brother, and I'll be remiss if I didn't mention my brother. He was really the first one that I saw play drums as a kid. And that's Charles Bethany the second, the junior, I want to say. So he'll be mad at me if I mention. It was him. But to get me to the next level, it was my cousin Rob Woody that got me to that next level. He showed me so many things down throughout the years. So I gotta give him props. Yeah.
That's awesome. And that's awesome. So uh, in regards to drums, as said before, how you did country or you doing this, you doing that. Um, how challenging was it as a musician to learn different genres of music? You know how you have your gospel sound, you have your rock sound, you have your reggae sound, and etc. So how challenging or was it at all for you to learn different genres of music?
Oh yeah, man. Doing anything different is challenging. You just have to have the will. You got to have the will to persevere and endure, and you got to trust the process. There's no taking shortcuts when it comes to learning different styles of music. You can't take any shortcuts. So you need to do the necessary things to put you in position to be ready when it's time. So for instance, this past weekend, yeah, I'm doing a jazz gig. Shout out to Don Weber and Swamp. But some people only know me to play in church, play gospel. Some people only know me to do this hip hop pop gig. Some people only know me to do blues gig or the Motown gig. But it's challenging because the fact that you actually have to go and do the work. You need to get your books. You need to go to the music and really listen and having an intense ear to pay attention to what the drums are doing melodically that complements the band. So I've been teaching for 18 years, and within that teaching, I've gained a whole lot in my plan. I grew immensely in my plan because of teaching. I didn't know that God was going to set it up like that. That was a part of my journey to be where I'm at now. So I'm teaching reggae. I'm teaching heavy metal. I'm teaching you name it, man. Like I'm teaching all of that stuff. So and I read music, of course. You know that, what I'm saying? I read music. So I got into my music theory and I had to get into it, man. So it was challenging, but I'm grateful that I went through the challenge.
That's what's up. And you brought up church. Do you feel like it's a different pressure or nervousness playing for a church compared to playing in bigger venues and other, for other venues and other gigs? Because church be it'd be a whole different beast, to some people.
Yeah, and there's different styles of churches. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So you got like the Baptist, you got Kojic, you got Apostolic, you got Presbyterian, you got Methodist, you have, so many different denominations. It's kind of like when you think about the different styles of music and the different cultures. The same thing for church. You have to know where you're playing, So you got like certain churches like Faith Church, Hope Church, and then you got like Friendly Temple, and then you got like Kennelly Temple, which is Kojic. So I've been able to play in all of these different denominations. And so for me, I would say when it comes to being nervous, I think it's more, I get nervous because of the fact that I'm anticipating something and I'm so excited. That's where
Mm.
my nerves come from because it's the respect level of saying, "Oh, okay, I'm ready for this cool little challenge or whatever. I don't play here or whatever." But yeah, the preparation of it all, like yeah, it is nervous. You can get nervous with that, but then you go and play like when I was playing with Nico Smith, or when I was playing with this lady named Coco Soul, you playing at a different venue like River City Casino or Casino Queen, and those bigger places, or playing Ballpark Village, or the Peabody Opera House, which I played there. It's a whole different ballgame because you got so many people. It's a lot of people. Twilight Tuesday, when it was Twilight Tuesday, I played there, thousands of people. So like the anticipation, of course I'm nervous. I'm
Right. Right.
nervous or whatever, but I'm excited. You know what I mean? So I know I'm gonna do the job. I'm prepared, but the nervousness is just from the anticipation of it. That's all.
Do you also like coming to any kind of gig, whether it's church or any thing outside of the church, and you come in like, yeah, I'm about to let all these people know. They may have heard about me, but they're about to find out who I am. You kind of like have your own little mental routine, kind of like Jordan, how he gets ready for a certain opponent, and okay, my mentality is different. Here we go, it's game time. I'm about to show out now. I'm about to go ahead and let them know.
I'm not gonna lie. I had those moments. I would say more so, more so in my younger years of playing, like in my 20s and stuff. When I'm out here, and it was more so outside of church. It was more
Mm.
so outside of church when it was like, yeah, okay, I know this cat. He was yapping his mouth, talking about, I heard what he said or whatever, yada yada yada. That's cool. You're gonna hear, you're gonna find out or whatever. You're gonna mess around and find out. You know the saying. And
Right,
so,
right, right.
but I remember some particular moments. These same guys who has stuff to say about me to other guys. Like, he's all right, he's cool, he all right. He's like one of them technical cats, man. He bought a book, man. He cool. But then when they hear me, in person, they come up to me, all respect and love, and be like, "Yo, man, I ain't had no idea you was like that. I
Right,
ain't know you
right.
was like that." So I mean, that was more so in the 20s. Now it's like already established my name around here in St. Louis and Illinois, and so people know and they know what I do. So now it's like more so I'm just finna have fun and enjoy the moment and just leave it there on the stage when I'm finished.
I got you. So I get asked this question a lot when I'm not DJing and I go to a gig. I see another DJ and they be like, "Oh man, if you would did that, if you would held that gig down, da, 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 whatever." Have there been times where you, as a drummer, you see another drummer, and like for me, I enjoy being around other drummers and going to different churches and or different concerts or whatever, and I see other drummers doing a thing that I'm always in that learning stage, learning mentality. Like, oh man, that's dope. Cause like I appreciate my fellow peers doing what they doing. How is it for you mentally when you are going to gigs or going to churches and you just sitting back and seeing other drummers?
I try not to make myself visible because, the musician community, they know who I am. They're familiar with who I am. I try not to be a distraction. So usually when I go to a gig, I usually just try to sit back. I try to enjoy the moment though, because I don't want to sit there trying to critique when I could be enjoying myself. Especially, most of the time my wife is with me or whatever, hanging out. But I try to enjoy the time. Even if the drummer is, playing crazy and just doing whatever and just not really locked in, I try to figure out a way. I might complain in the moment, be like, "What is he doing? What is he playing?" But I'll be like, okay, let me enjoy this moment and just celebrate life. And so I try not to be uh, too much of a critic, when I'm out and I'm supporting live music. Like tonight, when I get finished here, I plan to go support some live music, whatever. I'm gonna go in with the mentality just to enjoy myself and not to
Mhm.
over, analyze and all that stuff.
So are you still at a point in your career where you're still learning things as a drummer or
Uh,
as an artist?
It's a great question. It's a great question. Thank you. That was an awesome question. I will never stop learning. I'm gonna be straight up 89, 90 years old, still trying to figure out how I can do a paradiddle in different variations and this and that. And as an artist, you can never just have everything learned. That's why you see guys like Usher at the Super Bowl show do what he was doing. You see his evolvement. He's still learning. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's the beauty of it because we're all, there's nobody who's perfect. You know what I'm saying? So that means that I got to continue to grow and continue to, what's the next challenge for me? And so even right now in this season, I'm still trying to figure out how to become a better, entertainer up front, with my dance moves and this and that. I got to learn how to dance a little bit more. I got two left feet. Dude, my dancing is trash. So, like, how can I compensate for the lack thereof? I can't
Right.
dance for real. So I got to figure out other ways. How do I work the stage and engage with the people? So, man, I ain't gonna never stop learning as an artist or, as a musician.
That's awesome. That's awesome to know. Still being, remaining humble and not saying, "Oh, well, because I'm Drew Bethany, I don't even know this or learn that." You're always still trying to, work on even being better than what you are. So that's amazing. So,
Mm-hmm.
uh, in regards to continue on, of course, being a drummer and everything. Um, you talked about performing at different venues. What has been that one venue that you went to and you was like, wow, I am straight here up in this venue about to hold things down on the drums? What venue would you say has been it for you?
Dude, it was a lot of crazy venues in the last. And it's hard just to pick one and just be like, oh, this was the one. But
All right,
I
top
remember,
five in.
you said what?
Top five in.
Is it top five? All right. The Factory. I'm gonna say the factory number one.
Really?
Yeah,
Really? Number one?
it might. I would say it might, in my opinion, because of what happened that night. It was a Las Vegas performer, Michael Jackson, MJ.
I was there. I'm glad you brought that up because that was one of my questions. Because I was there, my wife and I, and my mother-in-law and auntie, we were there, and uh, let's just say I expected better, not from the band, but from the guy that was singing Michael Jackson. So I want to get you. I want to have you. Excuse me. Give us the backstory about what happened because I feel like it was something that was just off throughout that whole performance. Because ever since then, anytime my wife and I see an upcoming MJ performance, whether it's at the Fox or whether it's whatever else, we get flashbacks from that night. We get flashbacks from that show. So something just wasn't quite right. And I'm not saying that it's the band at all. Y'all sounded amazing, but something just wasn't clicking right. What happened there?
Uh, this sounds like this is a press conference. Like I got finished playing a game. Well, hey, Smooth, things happen. You know what I'm saying? We try to give it all that we had. That was a muscling performance, a muscling effort from the group of guys. We try to play, we try to play. We try to fight through it. There was a video that's out there, and this young group of musicians that said, "You got to play through it. It don't matter what's going on. You got to play through it." So that particular impersonator, his strong suit is more so with his dance moves.
I
His
agree.
dance moves is his strong suit. He was never noted as a
Finger.
like a singer like that. I mean, he's probably gotten better over the years, but this guy, man, much respect. This dude travel all over the country, all over the world, just to do this impersonation because of his dance and his entertaining, and all that. So it's not really he don't get the gigs based off of, you know, vocals and stuff like that. That's not what it is. So, yeah.
So was there like a lack of practice time with him, or like you say, there's something that just didn't quite just work out with that performer?
Well, I mean, musically, the band we were cool. It's just the more so the fact that we tried to sink in some vocals and things like that. That's why we had other vocalists. We had other vocalists there in place. That was there, which was Justin Hoskin. I think this other
Mm-hmm.
singer, her name was Ayana. Um, we try to make up, what I'm saying, for, compensate for the vocals that weren't there, what I'm saying? So that's why we try to even put some, you try to put some vocal tracks in there and all that good stuff and try to do the most we can. But I know he's still out there doing his thing, dancing his tail off.
Dancing, dancing. But yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. All right, so continue on with the other venues.
I mean, it's crazy, man. I enjoyed the pageant. That was number two. I know I did that show. That was a show that we opened up for Jodeci.
Mm.
Yeah, that was a Jodeci night. It was one night I did. I played there again. I played her a few times. One time it was like Kiki Watt was on that bill. Uh, that was one of those. And then, so let me see. That's pageant. I say number three. I would say the Peabody Opera House. I would say Peabody. Well, I don't know if it's called that now. It's called something else.
No, you're right. No. You're it's a stifle theater. Stifle.
There you go. Yeah, that place played there. I don't know. There's gonna have to be some wild cards. I played a lot of places around the country, man. Like it's dude. I've been playing for so long. I'm trying to think about what gigs stood out. Like as far as venue, I would say those are my top three. I just leave it. I don't want to work too hard. But Ballpark Village is always a good time. I played there many times. The outside, the outdoor, that was the mint condition one. And I
Mm.
did the George Clinton one there, Tony one there. But the one that was outside, that was with my band Anya Hart and Black Rose. Man, that was great. That was 2016, I want to say, something like that. So that was insane. Ballpark Village. I'm just talking about the venues that's around here. I played a lot of different spots around the country. I even played in Haiti before.
Ooh, how was
Uh,
that experience?
Yeah, playing in Haiti, man. This is actually for it was for this church situation, but we was the select artist. He goes by Courtney Orlando. At the time, he went by the name of Jr. And that experience was incredible. Of course, we felt like superstars and everything, but that guy, he is a superstar in his right. He actually has a Grammy. His name, you can look him up. He won the Grammy under Lecrae. Of course, everybody know who Lecrae is. So he
Right.
was the producer for one of the grooves and beats. I could go back to 2014 or something like that, 2015 that he got a Grammy for it. But that was crazy, man, because the experience there with the food, the living, the way how one thing that was kind of crazy and crazy and scary was the way how people drove. There was no lanes.
Mm.
I was like, what are the lines? We just all just going for broke. Just,
Right,
and
right.
vehicles are like this close to each other. I'm like, hey man, y'all about to get in an accident.
Yeah, it's crazy. Anytime you go out the country, you're gonna see some crazy driving. You're gonna see it. And you know we had it bad here in the Lou. Oh man.
Oh, you think we got it bad here? No, go. But actually, for real, I think those people know how to drive better than us.
Right, right.
I was like, yo, I was like,
I
it's
agree.
crazy. Yeah.
It's crazy, but it's a controlled chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very controlled chaos. So something that's came to my attention, as I brought up earlier, and as you just alluded to, you open up for artists like Music Soul Child, Mick Condition, George Clinton, John B, and other artists like them. Uh, have you had the opportunity to interact with these artists and talk music and just be able to like have a cool conversation and how have the conversations been with those artists?
Yeah. Actually, the most recent one that I can really remember is the guys from the Gap Band. I know Baby Gap, he just passed away actually early this year. That was sad. So I got to talk to a couple of those guys last year when we opened up for the Gap Band. And it was really cool. The guy who wrote the song Yearning for Your Love, and I'm about to mess up his name, so I'm not going to say his name, but the guy who wrote Yearning for Your Love, I was able to talk with him. And those guys, they were nothing. They was, singing our praises and stuff, talking about, man, you guys are slamming. I know y'all got something on you. And at that time, we didn't have no album. I ain't had no album that came out. They were just saying it's something special with you guys. You guys are just phenomenal. Like you guys are just slamming, killing, and all that. They give me all the compliments and all that. I'm like, thank you, I appreciate it. Another one was Music Soul Child. We was at the Ambassador, you know. And I know some St. Louis people, they have a way of feeling about him. Some people think um, that he's not the nicest, and some people say he cool. I mean, I seen him in both situations. I know I got to talk to him in the backstage, and he was like, "Yo, let's take some pictures. Come on, man. What's up, man? Hey, band was slamming or whatever. Yada yada." I was talking about, this is when he got finished performing. Usually, some artists, when they finish and they get done and finished with their show and they're done with their show, they just gonna leave. They're gonna dip. They don't feel like talking to nobody. They made their money, especially in certain cities. But this guy was cool, even to talk to some of my people, the people that I had there. It was so dope. Like, so Music Soul Child, and I can't remember the dude from the Gap Band, but those are my recent experiences as far as talking to celebrity artists. Another one that came to mind when I was talking with, it was just so many stories, dude. Like, it's so many. I'm about to rock. There's so many to tell. I'm like, because something dropped in my head, like, don't forget about that one, but yeah, I forgot. I'm trying to remember, but yeah, I got too many stories.
So I know you heard of certain artists when they agree to a booking that they have certain demands. I think I've heard like Mary J. Blige wants to have, or maybe not even her, but an artist wants to have all green Skittles or M&M, stuff like that. Have you came across an artist that had weird demands in regards to I gotta have this before I get on stage?
Man, I've been blessed, dude. One of these artists, Anthony David, I played at the Grandel Theater in the bigger part. Uh, he was so cool and calm. This other lady, uh, Antoinette Smith, she's on another market. But like the different ones that I came across, like as far as their writers and everything, um, I haven't. I mean, I don't know. I've been blessed, man. I haven't really came across like buttholes like that. Just being honest. Like I
That's
haven't
cool.
came. Yeah, I haven't really came across. Like I know I hear stories. You know, like okay, the Lauryn Hills of the world. Like you can't look at her directly in her eye as a musician. Like this is a true story. Like, and you have to address her as Miss Hill or
Mm.
something like that or whatever. That's Robert Glasper. That's and you can see that interview or whatever. But like I came across stories like I heard these stories before, but when I heard somebody actually mustered up the courage to actually say this online, I was like, wow, it is true. So I'm trying to remember. I know there's some stories, some crazy stuff that has happened. Like for instance, I know there's a story in my history. I have to look it up where an artist basically like we have to shorten our performance time. You
Ooh, I
know,
hate that. Oh, I'll be hating that.
yeah, like all these people came out here. I got all my family, my friends, and my loved ones. They want to see us perform. You saying we
Yeah,
gotta basically just do 7 minutes and we can't do 15 minutes? I want to do all 15 minutes.
right. Yep. That's crazy. That reminds me of my time once again with my band. We performed. This is like maybe over 15 years ago. We performed at the pageant, and it was like our first big opportunity to be on the stage like that. And
Mm-hmm.
we were told that we can have like maybe a 20 to 30 minute set. So leading up to the event, we are rehearsing, getting ready to go. We are performing. We practice, we rehearse as if we are performing as how it should be. And we had everything timed up for a 30-minute set. So then we get to the venue, and like right before we get on, we get told it's been cut to like 20 minutes. We like, are you serious? Like, this is our moment. We had everything timed and perfected and how we wanted, everything to go. All right, so we still do our thing. We performing, and outside of me being a drummer, I'm also an MC. Now, not a rapper or anything like that, but I will, hype the crowd up. I wrote a couple songs with the band, everything. So, I did my thing. And my partner from back then, he only had one job because once again, this was a big moment for us. He only had one job, and that was just to use my camcorder and record our whole entire set. Right? See, you already laughing. I ain't know the story yet. So after the show was over, because I'm looking out throughout our performance, 'cause I knew where he and others were sitting at. So I'm looking to make sure that he was recording. I noticed that I didn't see him, and I'm like, so after we're done, we off stage, we're all kind of frustrated because yeah, we did our thing because we were the only acts that was a live band. Everyone else was playing off tracks, so we stood out. But after the performance, I go out to find him. I'm like, dude, what happened to you? He couldn't record anything because someone that he knew that he invited to the venue was stuck outside in the line. So during the time that we performing, he had my camcorder and was outside trying to bring someone else in. So our whole 20-minute performance, nowhere. Found out a few days later that one of my band members and her peoples, they did record like maybe a minute and a half out of 20 minutes of our set. And when I say I'm pissed now because I'm bringing it up. It was like almost 20 years ago, but it was moments like that where I'm like, we just had this big opportunity and put on the show, and I don't have enough footage to like really show off. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that really sucked, man. Because I'm like, man, oh, we had that opportunity, and you only had one job, but just to
Right.
record us, and it didn't happen. But going on to the next thing, you brought up earlier about how you got to keep on playing. Just you got to go through it. Has there been a moment in your, of course, earlier years of a drummer, maybe even recently, in which you just had like a major slip up? Like, oh man, I tripped. I was off beat or dropped the stick and didn't have a stick, ready, whatever. And you had to kind of like, play it off, or it just stood out too so bad where, hey, it was like a oops, it happened. Have you had that kind of moment before?
Of course. Of course, I'm human. Stuff like that happens. I can think about when I was in Cape Girardeau doing a gig recently last month, and it was one of my songs
Mm,
from my band, one of my songs, Drew Project songs. And of course, sometimes we use stems. Those are like tracks that play along with what we got going on for the instruments that are not there. We have some other instruments that we have in place. But I did some on drums, and it wasn't the roll, it wasn't the correct drum feel. Like it didn't sound like I got caught on the rim of my first time on my rack time. I got caught. And so, but I fought through the field. But it was like, hey, I'm human. It's all good. I ain't gonna be judged on that. And just gotta keep going and dust your shoulders off and keep on rolling. So yeah, that it happens. Definitely happens.
so when you are doing gigs with other artists, what would you say on average would be the how many times do y'all rehearse leading up to the actual show?
With you saying with other artists, right?
Right, right.
Um, I would say for me in my unit, Uh, I'd say recently it'd be one or two, or it can be three. Now, there's some special situations if you're doing live recordings, stuff like that, a live recording, an unplugged record or something like that. Of course, it's gonna probably take a little minute. I'm thinking like it depends on the group of guys too and how well they retain the music. Usually, I've been afforded, to be able to work with guys who learn, their music ahead of time. They don't come to rehearsal and try to learn the music. They're trying to do that individual assignment while everybody's there. But usually I work with guys that, they retain their music. They do what they were supposed to do. They're gonna come in and do the job. But if it's a special situation, I try to think about one in particular. Um, well, that show didn't happen, but we still got paid. It was for I forgot, man. She's well-known artist and supposed to be at the Sheldon Hall, and I think it had something to do with COVID or something like that. That year we couldn't do it, but I remember we was getting together once a week until the actual concert. So you talking about 7, 8 weeks or 2 months out practicing. That's just pretty much as steep as it can get. It can go from a gig that's only requiring one rehearsal, or in a lot of gigs that I don't do no rehearsals. These guys know the music. They come in and play. It can be from 0 rehearsals all the way up to about 10 rehearsals.
Woo, sounds like fun. Sounds like fun. And do y'all have a certain or set location where you do rehearse all the time?
Whoever has a house,
A
whoever has a house,
house and some.
He said what?
Yep, I've been there. Now I said a house and some room. Yeah, so I've been there. I definitely understand. Definitely understand about that.
Yeah.
So let's transition from right now, from Drew the drummer to Drew the singer. Did you always want to be a singer as well as a drummer?
No.
And what happened? What changed?
It's a gift from God, and usually, if it's an undeniable gift, because look at how it affects the people around you.
Right.
Look how they react and respond, and you see if it's blessing people. Why not use the gift that God has given you? So it doesn't matter. You don't have to even love the fact that you have the ability to do something, but just be willing, be a willing vessel. That's pretty much what it is. Hey, I'm a willing vessel. And I'm gonna use everything that I have to glorify God and to lift these people up around here and to bless these people, encourage these people. You don't understand how many times people come up to me after a performance and they tell me, "Thank you for that." This has been a hard week. I lost my brother last week, or this has just been a crazy week. I've been depressed or whatever. Yada yada. You know, I'm like, yo, if I'm getting responses like that, that means I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
And speaking of that, I know that there have been times in the past on your social media where you've gone through some personal family situations that you would spill out on social media. did that affect you in regards to you being a performer, or were you able to pretty much put that to the side for those hours that you were doing your thing so you can perform for others?
Absolutely. Us musicians, man, some of us, man, a lot of us, we go through it, especially mentally. That's why it's important to have mental breaks and to be able that you take care. It's important that you take care of yourself and make sure that you do some vacation time. Make sure you're getting the proper rest. Make sure you be careful of what you putting in your body. And that means even the recreational drugs that y'all think that is good for you, just being honest, like that stuff really affects, it affects your mental space, and it prevents you from thinking clearly. So you got to be responsible with the temple that you're blessed with on this earth. So honestly, yes, I did go through some stuff. I went through a lot of things, especially in the last 2 years. But this year, I can say that I've been living victoriously, and I've came out of a lot of things, and resistance and temptations and different things that the devil wanted me to act out and and go crazy when I could have went crazy. But man, this year has just been proof of just being faithful and just staying with the course. So yes, I did go through. I went through some things, some trials, some tribulations, some challenges, but I'm stronger now.
Do
So
you feel that, as they always say, especially the old school folks, that going through something in life makes your songs and or your performance that much better because you are going through something?
absolutely. My first song on the album, the first single from the album, Forever Loved, was definitely about a relationship of how it made me feel, and how I felt like I was all used and abused and abandoned, and taken for granted or whatnot. So absolutely, your songs do come through life experiences, or it could be from another person who went through something from their point of view, and it's not always just personal. But yeah, a few of my songs were definitely personal.
So I saw your reaction when I brought up Drew Hill being my favorite R&B group. Do you have a favorite artist? Or,
If
matter of fact, I'm gonna say artist and then musician or drummer.
One of my favorite artists, I call him the male goat of vocals, and he's not really renowned like as far as a lyrical guy. Whatever people be like, he don't have all that many catchy songs. That's fine, but I know his vocals. He got the goat vocals. That's that cat, Joe, Joe Thomas, definitely, Mister I Want to Know, Mister All the Things Your Man Won't Do. That guy. Joe Thomas he has goat vocals. That guy.
Mm.
I would say him as a singer, and then if I was to say as a drummer, a musician. I mean, my favorite all time, man. I'm gonna go right back to it, man. Like this guy is responsible for a lot of stuff that I do. It's Rob Woody, bro. Like that guy is like he really he made me love drums. So that's just what it is.
I love it. Once again, this is Smooth Conversations. I got my boy Drew, Bethany holding things down with me. Hope y'all are enjoying the conversation at this time. And of course, get them likes, them shares going. And also feel free to leave a comment, say hi, ask questions. This is your opportunity to interact with us. So let's continue to have fun. So the Drew Project said started back in 2016 as a jazz trio. How would you describe how everything started in regards to like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. Are you down with joining me? How did everything form to where it is now?
This guy named Troy, he had his venue by the name of Troy Jazz Gallery. It was right near the Central West End, and he caught me playing with another act, some other gig. I was playing with some other people, whatever, and he really dug what I was doing. He dug my playing, and because of that, he was like, "Yo, do you have a unit? You got somebody, you got a couple of guys to play in your band. Like, I really dig your playing, man. Like, You like, you nice, man. Like, I don't know where you from. Back in 2016, I'm like, I don't know. So I was, playing with other bands and I was playing for other people. I never did anything for myself. So that was pretty much kind of how I got my name during that time. Like, oh, okay, you should just go by Drew Project. I was like, yeah, that's a great idea. I should just go by Drew Project. And then back in that time, I reached out to Phil Graves, who's a phenomenal musician. A lot of y'all know him even on the jazz and R&B scene. Of course, he's a versatile musician. He's awesome. Phil, they call him Dr. Phil Good Graves. He actually did this. Um, he did this event last year in the jazz STL, The Loneliest Monk. He played The Loneliest Monk. He did did the whole story behind him and all that. And he was playing all his stuff. Dude was crazy. Then the other guy, they call him Teddy Brookins. I called and reached out to him to play bass. Phil recommended me to him. And, there's an old video that's out there when I was living in my old Fallon, Missouri home. I was in my studio and I had a green wall behind me and we were playing this Yellow Jackets song. And the drummer from there, he's one of my influences, Will Kennedy. So, but we were strictly doing like fusion and jazz. We didn't really do too much R&B stuff. We really were just strictly all into the jazz stuff at that time.
Nice. So I see here something that I related to during my time in the band. The band revamped, and meaning that you brought in different pieces and everything. Talk about that transition of having to maybe start all over again or start from scratch because now you're bringing in different pieces who don't know your previous music. Tell us about that transition that you had to go through a couple of times in your career, bringing in new cats.
Yeah, I just think it just had to go with the flow of what's actually happening, and sometimes it comes from availability, lack of availability, and things like that. And so it was appropriate for me to revamp during those times, and it had nothing to do with those guys. They didn't want to play with me or anything like that. It's just the fact that you know these other musicians, they do the same thing I do. They work for hire, and
Right.
so it was just one of those situations where I got connected with other musicians, and we found something here, and so it'll be a band that I'll be with for a couple of years, 3 years, and then we're like, okay, let's do something different, because Drew Project is always going to be Drew Project as long as Drew is involved. So,
Right. Right.
So yeah, things changes, man, over time. And most of the time it just has a whole lot to do with who's available and who is not available. And so that those revamps were meant to happen. If those revamps didn't happen, we wouldn't have what we have now with, of course, the album and all that stuff. So it was important for us to revamp, during the times we had to revamp.
Totally get it. So I don't know if you're familiar with my previous shows with either this or with the Platform Sports Talk Show, but when I have a special guest on, I like to have a little fun with them and take it back to some good old days that you may be like, oh wow, how you get that, stuff like that. So when you see this picture, what comes through your mind?
That's hilarious. Hope that's hilarious, bro. What are you doing? Ew. Who are those people?
Who are those guys?
Right. No, man, I think about Hope Church. I think about Pretty Willie, actually. That's a funny thing. The guy with the black shirt that looked like David Robinson Jr. Name Lordell Lordell Rush. He hit me up. He been following me for quite some time, and he hit me up about doing this Pretty Willie gig. And we did some Pretty Willie stuff or whatever. That was fun. That was cool. I didn't even mention him in my bio. That's hilarious. But these other guys, they were from Hope Church. Isaiah, the guy with the locks, light skinned dude, and then this other guy named Montel Moore. He's doing some great things. He's a vocalist. Isaiah was a guitarist. Lordell was a keyboard player. But yeah, I think about Hope Church and Pretty Willie.
That's what's up. Yeah. I saw this photo. I was like, oh yeah, I gotta show this off. See what he gonna say.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
had to do that. Now you used to have events, and you brought up earlier with Music Soul Child, but you used to have these like monthly events that I was going to at the Ambassador, and I had this one I had to show, but it was events like this, and you had different themes, and you would bring in some of the coldest performers like Kelvin Saxman Evans and so many other people who have came in to assist you with these certain genre nights or gigs that you didn't see. You laughing, so I got to find out why you laughing. What's going on through your mind right now?
Like, who kid is this, bro? I think that's Zoe or something like that. And then this lady who's singing up there, that's Serenity. And it looked like that's Ayana. I brought her name up. She was singing in that Michael Jackson show. Who was in that purple sparkle dress. And who's that in the middle? I don't know who that is. I don't know. I gotta look that up some other. I think I don't know that Siren. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, that little girl in front, that's Zoe. Yeah, that's Zoe. But yeah, that was a part of the Ambassador Urban Live Jazz series, and that was a lot of fun. We've been trying to go ahead and try to do something again there, but I just haven't gotten around to it. But hopefully, we'll be able to do something like this pretty soon around this area because I thought that was a really nice, cool, fun, classy, family-oriented event.
Yeah, I agree. The times that I went, had a great time. The music was so on point. The energy was there. And I'm like, hey, if you need some DJ services in between time, let me know. I was
Right.
looking forward to it. But yeah, it was definitely a vibe. The different things like the Motown, this and the best of so on, so on, so on, so. Yeah, definitely was pretty dope. And
Uh,
you have here on the bio someone who I know very well through church, and he's been doing this thing for years. Keith Fowler, talk about your relationship and how incredible of a musician that he is as well.
hey man, that guy, he's just dependable. A great brother, a respectful brother. Man, I've been knowing this guy. I had the pleasure of knowing this guy for about maybe 10 years or
Mm.
something like that. But I guess he watched me from afar and he dug what I was doing. And I know he hit me up, and I forgot what the first gig was. Um, but I know we connected some years back. I remember seeing him playing at the pageant, and he was opening up for Kiki Watt.
Mm.
Uh, and I was like, this dude, he's pretty nice. I
Mm.
heard him on keys. I was like, I like his playing, and he stuck. That stuck to me. That stuck with me until we came around full circle. And I mean, we just, man, we went through so much, good, a lot more good than bad. All good, like mostly good. That's what I was saying. I learned a lot from him. He'll tell you that he learned some stuff from me, but I know I learned a lot from him, respectfully. So, yeah, man, Justin Hoskin, shout out
Yep.
to that brother too. Of course, I used to play in a band with him. It was pretty dope. Justin Hoskin in the movie, much love. He dope. That was a fun night. We was at Local Legends. Yeah, that was cool.
And I'm glad you brought that up because it's pretty much what this show has been about with our previous guests. And when I say this, I want you to just give me your first thought. Collaboration versus competition. What are your thoughts on that? Because they always say St. Louis like to go at it. We try to compete and we try to tear our heads off of one another instead of trying to come together and use our talents to do what like Atlanta, has done and other, cities and states, whatever. What are your thoughts in regards to collaboration versus competition?
Well, I think both is good, but it's the way how you do it. And when I'm saying competition, I'm gonna get right to that right off the bat. there's nothing wrong with friendly competition and a respectful challenge, a friendly challenge. Because when I'm teaching and I'm doing what I'm doing on for my regular job, teaching drums or whatnot, I like for peers to get together, or people who are that are in similar skill sets to push each other. So it's like iron sharpening iron. That's how I look at it as far as talking about competition. Not saying that, oh, I'm better than you, or yeah, you think you're better than me. No, but I think it's healthy to keep you humble as well, because there's always somebody who got something that you don't have, and I got something that you don't have, which makes us special and unique. And that's the
Mm,
way how that's God's way anyway. We all have our own DNA. That's why all of these arguments, like when it comes to the basketball, LeBron and Jordan debates and all that, they're all subjective at the end of the day. It's just really
right.
all about personal preference. So if you're a master at your art, now that's what you can really say. You know what I'm saying? If somebody's really a master of their art. So when I think about uh, masters of their art, I think about people like, for instance, like let me just say, since we're talking about the singing stuff and the singing, and we're talking about Layla Hathaway and Kim Burrell, two different styles, but they mastered their sound. They mastered their craft, and you just gotta respect that. It ain't no about they better than that, but you take those two, I bet you they're gonna come together. They're gonna kiss and hug, and I guarantee you they even collaborated. They probably did some collaborations already, so you can still have competition and collaboration at the same time. Competition is not really. I don't want to just box it into um, like I'm just we're combating, or I'm fighting against you, or it's not. It doesn't have to be against. To be honest, it's just really just pushing one another and sharpening one another. That's how I look at it. We talking about being competitive.
Hmm.
So
Got you. Definitely understood. Definitely understood. So, next photo is someone that you worked with a few times. Y'all had like an awesome video or a commercial or promo video that y'all did a while back, and she's been doing her thing in the Lou as well. Miss Kalanda K.
oh yeah, yeah.
Let's talk about her and what she's been doing and in regards to singing, and also it's someone that my wife and I know who we just ran into while we was in Atlanta. And she told me this, and I was pretty shocked before you talk about Kalanda. She mentioned how being a singer, being a woman singer in Atlanta is challenging in regards to trying to have a band because one, a lot of people that she know or seen who has gotten their notoriety in Atlanta, they had to do something to get to that position. And she's saying that with her being a woman singer, if she does not pretty much put out, it's hard for women to land gigs as a lead singer on bands. Now you see so many more all male bands. What are your thoughts on that? And have you experienced anything from behind the scenes? Like, man, this girl Cole, she shouldn't have to be treated like this just to get to a certain level. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, man, there's a lot of creeps in the industry, to be honest. Where you put in a situation, you have to basically compromise your morals and the standards and the things that you've been taught, and you've been trained and over years. Like, my thoughts is pretty much like, I know Kalanda and everything, and I'm pretty sure, I'm not going to reveal too many things that she talked about, but like, yeah, I know she's faced those situations where it's like, hey, to get ahead, you got to do this or whatever, yada yada. Um, I know, I know, I'm a real one, and I'm not. What I'm saying, I don't care where I'm at. I don't care. I'm in the middle of Hollywood. I know it's a lot of craziness that happens there, and just around the world, even around here in St. Louis. Um, being faced with situations where you have to compromise the way how you think and to compromise the way how you feel, and just kind of give up yourself. Pretty much, what's that? Uh, Sell your soul, pretty much, so that you can profit, you know, I guess fame and glory and money and all of that. But Kalanda is a real one. I can tell you that. That's a woman of God. Um, she carries herself very classy, and much love and shout out to her and everything. But I mean, it's like preaching to the choir. You gotta sacrifice. You gotta give up yourself in order to be known, and I ain't doing that.
Right, right. Yeah, if you ask me to do something that's not me, it is not meant for for it to happen, with you anyway, should I say.
Yeah, right.
There's many other ways and avenues to be successful than having to sell yourself and sell your soul. So but
Yeah,
yeah, shouts out to her. I look forward to hopefully being able to have her on Smooth Conversations and have her story told as well. So stay tuned for that. So you brought up the band Drew Project, and once again, having to revamp, and now you have these current members. Let's talk about these fellas, man.
those guys are all amazing. You had Jupiter who's over there. That's on the, I guess, for the people who's watching, with the top hat all the way to the right. Jupiter is a phenomenal. He's like a wizard on the keys.
Yes, he is.
Um, he's a wizard, man. That guy knows all the jingles, the way how he hears music and he feels the music. He's like the perfect board player for any singer. That's why I look at him. Then this cat right here, he's the engineer right next to Jupiter. His name is Deshaun Payton, who got I guess he got the clear glasses on or something like that. I think he got, yeah. He's the one that did all the mastering and mixing on the album, for the Drew Project album. He worked with a lot of phenomenal people out there. That guy, he can play all instruments. He play keys, bass. I know he can play drums and all that. He's awesome. Of course, we know who that guy in the middle in the gold shirt. We're not even going to talk about him. But the guy right next to him, Mitri, phenomenal bass player. That guy, I seen him grow since he was like 17, 16. And I just remember the last 3 years, he just said that he felt like he was being overlooked. Even though we all know he can play, I was like, this dude is amazing. He was coming off the road. He's like, man, I don't feel like doing this trucking stuff. I want to come in and play. And I can date this gig all the way back to 2021, the year after the pandemic. Me and him start playing a whole lot more together. In the days of the Palomino Lounge and Special Times Banquet Hall, we just start, shedding together. And that guy, I seen him grow. Like, you talking about from the baby years of bass playing to where he's at now, grown man bass player. So shout out to that guy. Then the guy all the way up to the left, far left, Prodigy. That dude is hilarious, man. He's
That out 2 weeks ago.
just he's a he's animated and he's a joy to be around. And you can just see in this video that's coming out, you're gonna see the animation of him as Uncle Otis, and he's even in this other video, Forever Love, with the white screen and the white screen background or whatever. He's doing a whole bunch. I just love his energy, and he's oh my God, outstanding vocalist and a guy who really takes a lot of load off of what I do.
Yeah, had the pleasure of meeting him. Had the honor of having my church be part of the music video. What's the name of the song?
So this new video is gonna be coming out on the Labor Day weekend. It's called Lights Off.
Lights Off. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
amazing song. From what I heard, it's an amazing song, and what they're gonna be doing to this music video, you're gonna be enjoying it. I guarantee it. It was very cool. It was my first time being a part of a music video, not in it, but just be able to see, from behind the scenes. So it was very cool to be a part of it, and it was an honor to have the Drew Project at the church and allowing us to open up our doors and allow y'all to do y'all thing. So it was pretty dope. So I saw in the bio that yes, y'all been playing cover songs for days, what I'm saying, for years. And you just got to a point where you felt like, you know what, we done this, we done that. It's time to change the game. And now you have an album out. What made that happen? Like, what instance did the mindset change from, okay, doing cover tunes is fine, but let's be original and do our own thing?
Man, I just got simply tired, man. Like, how much longer I'm gonna take this? Continue to just do life with just playing all cover tunes, man. And like, all right, it's time to party up. I did every kind of cover tune band, every type of cover band situation, the corporate stuff, the casino, go out of town, play cover tunes, cover this football player's event, and do this and that or whatever. And I enjoyed all of it, being grateful, but I knew it was time. I mean, this really came about some years ago. I would say when I was with Justin Hoskin in the movie, we were supposed to be putting an album out together. Shout out to those guys. It didn't happen, but even this other band, we were supposed to put something out with Jr. It didn't happen, and so all these different attempts that trying to come up with music is very tough. You got to have somebody, that one person that can actually will its team, just like with the guy Steph
Right.
Curry, who put up 36 points today. If it wasn't for his 20 points in the first half, we would have lost that game. But then shout out to LeBron James for doing his thing, covering his stat sheet, 10 rebounds. I know this is not the sports platform, but what I'm saying is
All good. All good.
you gotta have that one person that's gonna will your team
Yes.
and fight
Yeah.
through, man. And so, of course, me being Drew, I felt like I was tested, and I had to be that guy for my group of guys to get this thing done and not let up. I was not picking my foot up. I was like, nope, we're gonna get this thing done. I'm gonna continue to write. We're gonna continue to make this music better and this and that. But that process, man, I'm just grateful for going through it, because I can share this with up and coming artists or other people who's thinking about doing this, man. And knowing what it takes is just really just a big deal to me. So, yeah, man, that's that.
For those who are trying to start a band, whether you're young or older, uh, what would you say is the right approach in regards to how people should know you? Do you think that they should start off with their own music, or start off with doing a lot of cover tunes and then get to your own music?
Yeah, I think it's imperative to study arts, study the art. So if you really want to be a jazz musician and whatnot, you have to go to those places if you want to be what they are. If you want to be a part of this scene, this culture, you got to go to that place. You got to go there. If you want to be a great, outstanding R&B artist or hip hop, you need to go around that. You got to go on the scene, and then you study the music, but you still want to be versatile. You still want to know about what makes Motown. What's the Motown sound? You still want to learn about blues, reggae, calypso music, Caribbean, whatever. Like that's going to make your genre even better. Even if you go by I'm just a pop artist. Well, you need to learn these other styles. That's going to affect and impact this style. I know Usher, a lot of these artists out here, Chris Brown, a lot of these mainstream artists that are out here, they have a wide range of music that they listen to. And so I would say start off with the cover stuff. Start off with that cover stuff first, and before you start developing, your own, your own. Well, you already have your own sound, but to perfect and master your sound, you want to study the other styles of music. That is my advice before you start putting music out there. Study the arts.
And talk about the difficulties, if there are any, to handle so many different attitudes and personalities dealing with the band.
When it comes to just personalities and whatnot, it's important to have the right leader in charge to understand the personnel. Dealing with somebody who's short tempered. If you're dealing with somebody who's short tempered or whatnot, you got to have the right leader that has the patience and the grace to know how to coach them. It's just like I always use the basketball analogy. I don't know why, but the NBA coaches understanding when think about DeMarcus Cousins, we know he
Right.
had a hot head, or Draymond Green. You got to be the right coach. You got to be the
Rodman,
right. He said what?
Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman. You know what I'm saying? So understanding personnel and then having relationships, building healthy relationships really affect the chemistry of the band. Build a healthy relationship. Hang out. do stuff. Do stuff away from the job. That's really going to affect, you know, just the overall, your overall band situation. So, like, yeah, man, relationship, man. Make sure you know who you playing with. That's going to affect your sound big time.
So going back to the Drew Project once again, you have an album out. Go ahead and do a nice little promo in regards to the band, man, and where can they find your music at?
You can find my music, Drew Project. You can find it on Apple Music, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Tidal. You can find it. You can find it on any outlet out there. We even have a website you can go to. You can check it out on Spotify. Our website is drewprojectlive.com. And so that shows pretty much where you can get our music at. You can hear some previews of our music on our website, and you can find where we will be performing next. And you can book us there and all that good stuff. So that's where you can find us. Instagram, Drew Project. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Drew Project, STL, and all that good stuff.
That's what's up, man. How have the reviews been coming in since y'all pumped out the album?
And the reviews been coming in pretty cool. Like, the funny thing is, you got people at church that listen. Of course, it's not a gospel album, but we got some gospel influence on that record, of course, because I am. I have an undertone gospel feel. So the reviews have been, they be coming from everywhere. My brother, who's really well known, a couple of those guys, Michael Bethany, who sang with Kurt Franklin. He sang with Fred Hammond. He is a part of the largest, I think, one of the largest church plants, which is called Gateway. He's down there in Dallas. But Michael Bethany, he gave me a lot of love and shout out, to the record or whatever. He enjoyed it. I mean, one of the associate pastors up there in the pulpit, like, yo, our drummer over there has an album. Y'all need to go ahead and go get that, stream it, or whatever you need to do. So people at church loving it. People, out, my regular gig scene or whatever, they love it. And my family, my youngest one is the biggest fan, my 2-year-old Charlie. She's the biggest Drew Project fan. Every time she get a chance to get in the vehicle, Drew Project, even in the house, Drew Project. So yeah, man, a lot of people are showing Drew Project a lot of love.
That's awesome, man. Definitely congrats to you and the Drew Project band. Much success in regards to everything that y'all putting your passion in. So, talked about music and everything. Let's talk about real quick family. And this picture right here should pretty much say it all, man.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's just regular life for me right there. I don't show all the pictures of my everyday life, but that just sums up what it's all about with me. Whether it be at Chuck E. Cheese, the zoo, or we just going to the park, hanging out. You know, this is my life. This is what it's all about. Raising and training these girls of mine. Of course, it's a family of 6, and so the oldest one, who's 18, of course he's an adult, but everybody else underneath, this is not everybody, but of course this is 4 of the 6 as far as the siblings and whatnot. But that just sums up what my everyday life, and the blessing behind that is the fact that I get to do this all year long because of the fact of being able to control my own schedule. So I'm grateful to be able to do this as much as I want.
And you said that you're able to control your own schedule. Obviously, 6 kids total. How much of a challenge is it to be a musician, along with being a father?
Well, as far as being a musician and as long as being a father, the challenge. That's a good question, because that goes back to me saying I think it would have been more challenging if I still had a job that I had back in
Right.
2012, which I had
Right.
no kids then, whatever. But I think it would have been more challenging with a regular 9 to 5 and trying to make time for them and make time for my wife and doing this and that. So as honestly, that's a hard question for me to answer because of the fact that, I've been quite blessed to be able to, balance out and still get my rest and still do this, whatever, because of the fact that I only teach about 3 to 4 hours out of the day. My gig life is what it is. I don't really have to rehearse a lot. It's not as stressful, man. It's, I know I know you was looking for a better answer, but I can't make up, what's been challenging. I don't know. It's been great, man. I've been able to. I'm just blessed, man. I don't know.
Right. And then, like you said, because you don't have to worry about the 9 to 5. That's like you said, that's probably the biggest thing because that would have just changed a whole lot in regards to you trying to schedule giving lessons and performing. So I understand. I feel you on that. Speaking of which, I talked about it a little bit briefly, but let's talk about more about um, what you do for these kids and for those who wants to, older people who wants to get into drums. There's no limit in regards to male, female, boy, girl, whatever age groups, and how you have these the students, they practice, they do their thing, and then you have them out on location in the public to show off their skills. Talk about that for everyone.
Oh yeah, man. This is all about developing, and giving all of my students individual goals. You can't teach each student the same. That's what makes a teacher great when you understand who you're working with, the personnel. Some one student might require more energy than the other one. You might have to turn into a mascot or, some big old mascot in order for them to learn what you're trying to teach. So being able to give them opportunities like I'm doing my student spotlight that I do down in the Del Mar Loop at this place called In the Loop. I do it every first and third Thursday. Give them opportunities like that to play in a band setting. Um, and then showcases. I've been doing these showcases since these music house showcases. I've been doing this since 2010. That has been the biggest hit for music house. And when it comes to developing, giving them a platform that a kid like myself, when I was 5 years old, all kids, that's not every kid's situation. You don't get an opportunity to go up and just get on some drums at church and play in the service. So
Right.
I thought about kids that didn't really have the opportunity or a platform to play, and so that has stuck with me. And it's not really just about teaching music, but it's teaching them about some principles in life. You get to mentor them, you get to coach them through some different things, some challenges in their lives that they're facing, those who are fatherless. It's kind of like I get to be an influence for them and be able to encourage them, go to their football game, or take them out, have talks with them and things like that. So it's been a blessing. Outside of just teaching, I'm developing relationships, and I have relationships since, man, dating back to 2006. I really, really started teaching, like, I would say, 2006. And so I remember my very first drum student. His name was Tyler Howard. But anyway, just being able to, be there along the journey, whether you're 5 years old all the way up to 65 years old. Yeah, I literally teach people that, of that age bracket. It's just really about meeting their individual goals, meeting them where they are so that they can use what they have for their situation, whether at church, jazz band, marching band, or wherever they are. So that's the beauty of what I do.
And I'm sure that the parents and loved ones appreciate what you're doing big things for the area. So shouts out to you in regards to that. Last but definitely not least, you briefly brought her up. Let's talk about it now. Talk about this moment that happened in your life right here.
She's my queen to be.
Yes, there it is.
Queen of perfection, an object of affection to restore royal fire.
Coming soon, the coming America, coming to America 3.
To be used at your discretion. I forgot. I
Right.
gotta learn them words. That was hilarious. Yeah. So, yo, man, this came as a surprise in my life last year in 2023. Uh, the way how God, worked that out. I mean, I wasn't even looking for nobody, to be honest. I
That's
thought
what's
I
up.
was gonna be able to just, live it up, do my thing, and be the musician. Like, like I'm be out here like Rick James or something. You know what I mean?
Yo, couch. Yo, couch.
Yo, couch, yo, couch. Darkness is. Go buy another
Oh,
one. Black
buddy.
Magic.
Oh,
Ah, I thought I was gonna
man.
get my Rick James on out here, man. Speaking of which, shout out to Twilight Thursday for allowing me to do the Rick James thing. That was fun. But back to the question at hand. Yeah, man. It was funny how it happened, man. It was January 1st, 2023. That we really crossed paths. We were going to this church by the name of River of Life, Church of God in Christ, and she was there all alone. And I was playing there for like almost 3 years or whatever. But I mean, well, before that time, I was playing for like a year and a half or so. But this one particular Sunday, and she's been there all alone. She's been there the whole time. This one particular Sunday, we crossed each other paths, and we was going in past, and I was going on my way to the basement to the restroom, and she's coming from the restroom, and she looked at me, she gave me that eye. She was like, like, like she liked what I had on that day. I was like, what does that look? I actually had to investigate. I was like, what are you looking at me for like that? You know what I'm saying? How you do it? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
She was like, oh, no reason at all. You look nice today. Have a great day. But I knew what that look was. I already knew what it looked. I said, I'm finna get those digits. So
That's
I
it.
got the digits. Like what Tommy, no, he said something different. But I said, I got the digits, dog.
Right. He said something totally
Nah, he
different.
said GTD. That's what he said. Got the draws. I got those later on eventually. But
Yeah. I mean, hey, look at you now.
got the draws, dog.
Look at you now.
But yeah, man. Anyway, but hey, my whole life changed, man. January 1st, 2023. And dude, it was funny. It was a God connection. I knew something was different. We had our first conversation that same day in the evening. And of course, me being a musician, there's always gonna be women all around you and all that. But this one right here definitely stuck out. This one right here definitely stuck out, man. It was just like just her heart and the things that she was talking about. She wasn't full of herself. Um, took care of her business. It was attractive to see how she took care of her kids and with the type of job that she does. Like she really looks after senior citizens every day. You know what I'm saying? That's just a beautiful job. The way how she just moved and the conversation, the content we went out, we just hit it right. We hit it right off the back, right off the jump. That we went. Our first date was at Mia Ranchito down by the Del Mar Loop around the
Right.
corner on Kingsland. So that was our first little date and everything. It was, man, we was just like cracking each other up. But just her morals and her values and her relationship with God was just really attractive. And so I just knew we just had a lot going for each other. And that year we was like, yo, this makes a lot of sense. It just seems like you're just ready. You're just already ready. And I'm like, I feel like I'm ready and we're gonna make this happen. And that same year, we put our brains together, our money together. I even got a tattoo, bro. That's how you talking about that song T-Pain. I'm sprung.
Yeah.
You got me. Nah, what was that? I'm trying to show where my tat. Yeah, she right here. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, I had her name tatted. She got me. We had match tattoos with her name. My name's tatted on her, and that was that was like the next month. I was like, what in the world is going on, Lord? But
Right.
from there we just hit it off, and yeah, she's the best. That's what I can say. She's the best. She's awesome.
I love hearing the story because it sounds similar to my situation before I met my wife, who I love, and she's downstairs right now getting things together for her not-for-profit back to school event. Shouts out to you, SA Dub. But yeah, I didn't have no intention on meeting anybody, getting into any kind of relationship. I ain't gonna say Rick James, but uh, but you know what I'm saying? I didn't have no intention. And then just God just saw fit to have it come into my life while I was doing my passion, DJing. And we came across each other. And even then, it wasn't like a hey, can I date you or I'm feeling you type thing. It wasn't even on that. I just saw her energy from how she was reacting to certain songs I would play, especially Beyonce, and her energy just stood out. And then like later on, like days later, one of her friends posted some photos from the event, and I saw her on there. I'm like, oh. So then I got on social media and followed her on social, to see what she was about on social media, and I just got to DMs, and now almost 3 years, you know what I'm saying, and we're solid, best decision, and it's so important because you want to have someone, and I stress this all the time. You want to have someone that you pray for that also can elevate you to a whole different level.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, that's it right there. That's the core. That's the foundation. That's for a successful marriage. Yeah, that's it right there. Somebody who's gonna cover you spiritually first. You know what I
Right.
mean? You got a warrior with you for real. That's important. That's it. That's it right there, Doc. So
And then also you brought up something too, but for her to accept who you are, even with you being a musician and being in that limelight of the temptations can easily come. Like even for myself, being a DJ, host, doing this or a drummer, they call those positions, oh, me, it must be a hoe because you're doing that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, right,
So
right.
to have someone who knows what you're doing, but still is right there with you, that says a whole lot.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Yep,
Yes,
says
sir.
a whole lot. So with that being said, everyone, that is our show for the evening. Smoooth Conversations is about to be a wrap. Drew, thanks for being on the show, man. It was an honor to have you on and to have your story be told, man. And what you're doing is incredible for those in the loop and the surrounding areas, man. So thank you very much.
Hey, right on, smooth.
So did you have any special shout outs?
Special shout out to the Music House parents and family. Shout out to all my kids. My wife, of course, I already talked about her. I talk about her a whole lot. Can't talk enough about her. And last shout out, hey, make sure y'all go on drewprojectlive.com. All right. We got that Labor Day weekend video coming out, Light Off. It was featuring my Music House family, parents, and friends, and all that good stuff. That's going to be a real fun video. So drewprojectlive.com. Hey, come check us out this weekend. We got a couple of shows. One is at 1219. That's on Lindbergh on 67. 1219. We playing from 8 to 10 o'clock. And then we're playing the next day at this spot called Arkansas Fried Chicken. Some of the best chicken you ever had. Yes. 7:30 p.m. that night. So that's what the weekend is looking like for us. And we hope to see you soon.
Man, there it is, Drew. Once again, thank you for your time. It's been a pleasure, and look forward to hopefully collabing with you, Smoooth Productions and Drew Project on some future projects down the line, man. So much success to you, and thank you for your time.
Right on. All right.
All right, brother.
Okay.
And for everyone else, thanks for tuning in to another edition of Smoooth Conversations. I'm your boy Smoooth. Before I go, I definitely want to give a heartfelt thank you to my now former co-host just for one show, which is Countess Danielle. She told me today that just due to a lot of things that's going on right now in her life that she had to step away from co-hosting this show with me. So it's going to be just Smoooth Conversations with yours truly for the most part. But I want to thank her for her energy that she gave, the love that she's shown. She's going to all be my sis. I'm always support her, and I'm sure she's going to be supporting me as well. But thank you for your contributions, and hopefully down the road we can collab on something very special again. So once again, thank you, and shouts out to Countess Danielle Prayers up to her and her situation, and just prayers for all those who are going through something at this time. You just never know what people are going through. We just want to pray that they can work things out and keep God first in all that they do. So this has been a great show. Hope you all have enjoyed it. Like and share, spread the word. Smoooth Conversations. If y'all know someone that y'all feel would be a great guest to have a conversation with, have their stories told, shoot us an email or shoot me an email, smoothconversations@gmail.com. That is smooth with 3 O's. Could be put in 2. You might send an email, but I ain't going to get it. All right. Also, go ahead and scan the QR code that's right there on your screen that relates to everything Smoooth Productions. Everything that relates to Smoooth Productions, scan the QR code, and boom, you will be good to go. So, that being said, I am out. Have a great rest of your week. Peace out. Smoooth Conversations. Have a good one, y'all.